Life is a cruel mistress, a ceasing, unending plummet towards our inevitable demise. A multi-billion-dollar company taught me that. Let me introduce you to the Spotify car thing. The Spotify car thing is a thing that you use in your car, made by Costco. It allows users to interact with Spotify while driving. It's also known for responses such as, yeah. If that's you, no it's not, that's me. But if you had a similar reaction, I don't blame you for not remembering the car thing. Spotify stopped selling it after just 5 months because of low consumer demand. However, it made headlines a few weeks back. Spotify announced that, and I quote, car thing is being discontinued and will no longer be operational after December 9th, 2024. What? As of December 9th, you can't use the car thing. Spotify is bricking every single one. I am in awe. This news sent my mind racing fast, and my fingers racing even faster. I bought a Spotify car thing off eBay as soon as I heard it would get shut down because I thought it would be funny.
And more honestly, I wanted to get my hands on this and use it for myself and make this little time capsule of a video. This is a little slice of music tech history. It's Spotify's first physical product, and based on the sales, it'll likely be the last.
Packaging looks clean, and it comes with a bunch of accessories, a cable and a power adapter, 3 different mounts for you to choose from, a cleaning cloth to cure me of my sins, and of course, the thing. Getting everything set up in my car was pretty easy. I chose the CD tray mount, though I had to make sure that my CD tray was, empty. Now just gotta plug it in and get started. After it loads, of course. And then I can use it. And I'll have a lot of fun. Okay, for real, it's gonna start up any second.
My car thing was a dud. Just froze on the Spotify logo.
I saw online that this can be fixed with a power cycle or other tricks, but doing all those and speaking with Spotify customer service did nothing to fix it. So it's a good thing I bought another one off eBay. Thankfully, this second car thing ended up working fine. Once you've connected it with your Spotify Premium account, yeah, you need Spotify Premium to use this thing. It doesn't work if you have another plan. I don't know why that is. That's kind of it. In practice, it's basically a glorified remote for media playback from your phone. The thing itself doesn't even connect to your car. It's the phone doing that. From the device, you can press the screen to pause, play, skip forward or backwards, shuffle. You can also browse a pared down version of the Spotify app, basically just your saved music. And there are buttons at the top which you can use to set presets or reach the settings. The big value prop of the car thing, from what I've heard and read and lived with my life, is the voice commands. Simply say, "Hey Spotify," followed by a command like "Play Eiffel 65." The voice recognition is quite accurate, but sometimes Spotify gets confused about what you specifically want.
Hey Spotify, play Norman effing Rockwell.
Norman f***ing Rockwell.
That's not Lana. Hey Spotify, play Norman effing Rockwell by Lana Del Rey.
Norman f***ing Rockwell.
Language!
You can also control media from other sources like YouTube, you just can't use voice control or presets. I'll admit this is a niche application since many newer cars already have Spotify or a fancy UI built into them, but for someone like me with an older car, it's nice to have something more modern. The device is well made and it doesn't weigh too much. Plus, having this here means I'm less tempted to use my phone while driving. So, should you buy a Spotify car thing?
No!
Yeah, everything I just said is all well and good, but again, all car things shut down in a few months. You buy one of these, you're basically counting the days until it gets bricked.
I can't recommend this to you unless you adore the idea of it, or you want to mod it in some way, or you have a YouTube channel where you can write it off on your taxes.
Now that I've answered for myself the question of what is the car thing, I can now ask the question, what the actual hell, Spotify?
There's a lot of discussion these days about ownership of media in a digital streaming world, but there's this unspoken rule we take for granted where if you buy something physically, it's yours.
Now, we live in a time where the things you tangibly own can just be shut off. Some people spent upwards of $100 on these when they were new. Doesn't matter, it becomes a fancy paperweight in a few months. We may now be living in a world where you don't own the things you own. Also, here's something I've been trying to figure out. Discontinuing it? Okay, that's fine. Disabling the Spotify connectivity? More severe, sure. But the car thing is capable of playing media from apps that aren't Spotify. I don't know how this thing of cars operates in conjunction with Spotify's servers, but couldn't you just disable the features that are specific to Spotify? Outright shutting all of these devices off feels like such a dramatic step to take.
My educated guess is that the number of car things Spotify sold was so absurdly low that they deemed it best to simply cut their losses, dump the thing completely, and piss off every single person who ever bought one.
Any time or money spent on figuring out a more suitable compromise would cost way more than Spotify believes it to be worth, given the size of the user base. Spotify wouldn't even allow car thing owners to get refunds or account credits. Side note, would you like to see a 3-act play I've been working on? Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. It's funny, as I was learning more about the car thing's demise, I was reminded of my personal favorite technological failure, the Wii U. This is a device that did cool things back in its day, but has also seen some of its functionality shut off over the past few years. One might bemoan this lack of support until that same one finds that there are like 8 people who still use it out of the 20 that bought one.
At least with the Wii U, you can still play your games. They haven't gotten rid of that functionality. You can still use the device. Plus, they released a successor to that console that better met the needs of the market, and they ended up putting all of the good Wii U games on there. Sorry, most of the good Wii U games.
So, what now? There have been hopes that the car thing will be kept alive by eager users with technical know-how. A lot of people blamed Spotify for not making the device open source when they announced the shutdown, but turns out the car thing already is open source, the thing runs on Linux, and people have figured out ways to jailbreak it. So you could mod this thing to run other software, but if you tried, you would run into what is currently the bigger issue. This thing is woefully underpowered. Basically, the car thing is powerful enough to run this stripped back Spotify UI, and that's pretty much it. People have been able to run some low power programs on this thing. Someone was able to actually make it run Twitter, so hopefully someone else can do something that's actually beneficial for the human race.
If anyone does find another cool way to use and mod this device, please leave it in the comments. There's also a subreddit for car thing hacks. If you own one of these and you're technologically savvy, that might be a good resource to have. Otherwise, I don't know how to get any real closure out of this. My car thing will be dead in a few months. So I guess I'll just enjoy the time I have left with it, and I hope all of you out there with car things do the same.